Oh, jeez. Oh, no. No. Crap. Crap. It's too bent. Unfortunately, the iPad is rather severely bent, full stop. Hey Greg, Stuart, Pedro, Electro. The trouble is when the boards are bent like this, it means the electronics may have been excessively stressed, which means it is likely that there may be additional faults that develop later, full stop. Also, with the bent chassis, it means that the glass will not bond down properly. Alright, so much for that one. Hey Serge, Chlorophene. Hopefully I don't have a partial hernia, I'm guessing you meant to say. Man, that's nasty if you do get a hernia. Not good. Well, this is going to be fun. I've called you all in because I was going to do an iPad, and 2 seconds of looking at that and I'm not doing the iPad. So we'll have to find something else to do. Good thing we've got other jobs. Let's see. Liquid damage keyboard. Jeez. Coffee damage. What the hell? This is just crap after crap. 3115 keyboard replacement maybe. Oh god, why? Why do I do this to myself? I don't know why I do this to myself. This is in no way, shape or form a job that makes any kind of realistic money. But it's been languishing here for too long now. So I basically have to get it out. I don't want it in here anymore. I want it gone. Gone with the wind. And what better time to do it than when I've got people around that I don't care about. Fortunately, no rivets on these ones. These are screws. But in saying that, they are far more annoying to disassemble. Far more annoying. Incredibly annoying because you got to take this whole assembly out. It's a pain. But like I said, I wanted out the door and I wasn't able to find a replacement 3115 chassis anywhere that I could exploit. Okay, I must have another... Knew it. Knew I had another container. Doesn't help that I'm a little bit exhausted today too because of all the mowing. They've got about 1/3 of the yard done. It's not really the overall area of the yard that's the problem. It's just that the yard is... It's a tricky yard, you know. There's lots of little nooks and crannies and things like that. So you can't just like get on a ride-on mower or anything and just zone out for an hour. No siree, nothing like that. Yeah, these, like I said, these are a pain because you've got to take this whole drive assembly out and everything like that. So usually what you try to do is just simply find someone who has a 3115 chassis that is no longer in use, and you take that. Yes, Greg, older style for sure. Just going to undo these screws here holding this flat flex in. Okay, why don't you want to come out? It's just to try and keep it out of the way. Alright, I think I am going to use that second container. And so all this cabling doodad stuff over here, it's a mess. It's like working on a car. You know, when you just want to get to the oil filter, but oh no, can't have it that easy. No. Gotta make you disassemble 50 million other bits and pieces first. All this because of one I suspect it's actually just going to be the on-off button, and unfortunately the on-off button is right under here, so I may actually be able to get away with, sorry, water I've been drinking, I may be able to get away with actually replacing the dome of the on-off button, but I've still got to take all of this out. Ugly, nasty stuff. Hey Joho, yeah, unfortunately the iPad, as soon as I looked at it properly, it was bent on both sides, so that kind of gets disqualified from being repaired. I mean, if I tried to put the glass on there, it would just, yeah, it wouldn't sit properly for a start, I can guarantee you that. It's one of those things where the customer is just going to have to accept that. That's the end of the road for that one. I'm trying to find a cheat's way out of this. I don't think there is a cheat's way. Oh, maybe, here we go. Because basically, this is where the button is. So it's take this out. Like I said, we could get really lucky, and it just needs a dome replacement or something. Because I'm fairly sure that the rest of the keyboard was okay. It's just that it lacked the on-off button ability. Of course, it could be damaged in the whole keyboard area, like liquid got in there or something, and basically put an end to my hopes. dome actually looks pretty intact. Yeah, it's going to be the whole keyboard. Annoying. Okey-dokey. So I'm sure everybody's got their preferred techniques for getting these ones off. Kind of hoping that maybe the adhesive is eased up a little on this and I can get at least this backing sheet off okay. Well, I've got to admit this one's coming up pretty good. I usually have to fight quite a bit harder to get the backlight LED sheet out. That always makes you worry. You're like, if it's making it easy for me now, does that mean it's going to make it harder for me later? Alright, LED backlight came out okay. Hey Michael, hope you have a great Christmas. Thank you to you too. Sorry I haven't been producing many videos. Okay, immediately we can see we've got liquid ingress here, and that's about it. There's odd bits and pieces, but that I would say is probably our culprit. And now this is one of the few times where I do wish that I had a powered driver. Yeah, you just go zip, 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 zip. But just means I'm going to get lots of twisty finger exercises. And you guys can get delightfully bored waiting. I'm kind of wondering, maybe, is this actually an original or is this a replacement? Because I don't recall seeing these T22 stickers on there. But it seemed original enough. I'm like, always half a turn too soon. Yep. Maybe it was an Apple refurb. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's certainly other crap in here too. It's hard to say. Either way, like I said, I'm happy that the LED backlight sheet came up easy. It means when I put it back down, it's going to be fairly good with its alignment. I should have a new version or a new build of Flexboard View coming out in a week or so. I'm just reworking some of the licensing things. It's one of those situations where I'm doing a whole lot of work and it's not going to make any difference to anybody, really. There will be some improvements on the XCZ stuff, I haven't yet implemented a sufficiently good algorithm for the automatic refolding of the boards. Kind of, it's a thing where I have to try and split the board so that it's top and bottom, and then evaluate what it looks like within the algorithm and sort of go, well, that worked or that didn't work. And there are some tricky ones too, because a lot of the iPhone board files, they are pre-split, and you basically need them to be pre-split because they've included two boards into the one, so you can't effectively fold that back together. So the trouble is, with some of those, they will actually work with the algorithm that I'm using, but you don't want them to do that. So you need to kind of have a way of saying, try and split fold this, or don't try and split fold this. Maybe I should. I don't want to really leave it to the user to decide though. Hey Nick Buff, hey Horst. Does this need more cat girls? What are you referring to? It's kind of amazing they'd have a machine that just puts this 150 or whatever screws in. It does amaze me though, just how intensive circuit board manufacturing really is. When you think about it, every time you have a veer on a circuit board, that has to be drilled and plated, and some of those are tiny veers, and there's thousands upon thousands of those veers on any given modern board, and they've got to drill them. We're talking like 0.2 or 0.15 millimeter diameters. It's ridiculous. I don't think they're at the point where they can laser them, because I think that would cause too much carbonizing of the fiberglass, which would prevent the plating taking hold. Hey Paul Norman. Oh yeah, we're all good and busy here. Rather hot and humid, but good and busy. Okay, now comes the part of working out which ones you missed. Like that was one over here. Nick Boff. Oh wait, is that Nick Boff iBoff? The maniac that does all the upgrades and stuff? Alright. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's sort of a bit of a mess. So the Nick Boff is not the iBoff. So, an imposter. That's okay. It's like people always think I do magic or something because my name's Paul Daniels. So show us a trick. I should do like, okay, give me $100. Voila, it's gone. This is weird. It's like nail polish or something. Hey, Phone Repair RO, how are you? Oh man, yo, this is some kind of paint. I don't want to scratch too hard, but I don't want it there either. It's slightly soluble in IPA. Let's see how it goes in ethanol. Much the same in ethanol. Alright. Acetone, I'm gonna guess it's something like nail polish, in which case, yeah, acetone would do the job very nicely. What do you think about the new schematics program? Yeah, I've managed to read the files, and I'm working on that. And there's a lot of people are very happy now that we can all read those files. The trick is, of course, now to gather them up, because in the past people weren't bothering with them. Like, well, it's like, what's the point of retaining these PCB files if we can't even read them? But now we can read them, so the race is on to gather them up before uh, before we lose access to being able to download them. And I know there are people already working on alternate ways of getting access to those files rather than the method we're using right now, which unfortunately I can't share with you. It's one of those things where we do not want excessive activity occurring in the way that we are getting them, which would subsequently alert, it'll alert certain people as to what's going on, and we don't want that. It's kind of taken a long time with this ethanol and IPA, but I guess I don't want to risk acetone on it. I mean, I'm fairly sure the people at XZZ are more than aware of what's going on. I mean, they would already be knowing that I've got access, but they may be just weighing it up in terms of, is it actually worth them overhauling their entire system just to deal with little losers like myself? And I'm kind of thinking they're at the size in terms of business that little annoying mosquitoes like myself are probably not going to be worth overhauling the system. Because if you go and overhaul a system like what they've got, put in a whole new file formats and communication protocols and all that sort of stuff, more than likely you're probably going to lose more money in business from downtime, mistakes, customer dissatisfaction, all that sort of stuff. You're going to lose more through that than you ever will through me. Alright, blimey. That was a little more intense than expected. Right, here's hoping that this in fact is the correct replacement. Otherwise there'll be some crying. Well, more crying than there was before. There's always crying, it's just a severity level thing. Right. I think what would be really hilarious with the whole situation regarding the board view stuff is if XZZ decides, you know what, we'll just use the free version of Flex Board View as our board viewer now, at least for the other stuff. That would make me laugh. And I actually wouldn't be upset by that. I think it would be quite amusing, and it would actually be quite beneficial to me, which is probably why they're not doing it yet. What they what they might do is their existing board viewer program. They may pay the guy, I think he's a Russian fellow or whatever. They may pay him money to incorporate the reading code that's now available in Open Board View for XCZ, and get him to add that as a feature. I don't know. Who knows where it's going to go? I guess I just got a whole lot of screws to put in here. With this sort of thing, you kind of want to start from the... I've pinned it down to the corners, but you do actually want to start in the middle and spiral your way out. But it does make it tricky for the fact that you can easily not see where you've left a gap. So maybe I will use a pen and just sort of green mark everywhere that I've put it. Hey Graham, how's it going? Oh, come on, you want to come and do it, don't you? You just love doing this sort of thing. Yeah, I've been very reluctant to do it, but I've sort of not been able to find myself a spare 3115 chassis for the customer. So in the end it was like, well, looks like I'm going to have to just do it. At least I don't have to, it's not like a 1466 where you have to actually tap the holes, so to speak. I didn't even get to see your stream last night, Graham. I was just busy doing other things. Hey, Mini Tom. Oh, it's actually been a while since I've seen you here. Graham, did you get the latest Flexboard view with XEZ? I think we've got about 250 gigs worth of files now. So it's growing, and we are looking like we're going to do a Git system. So that... See, what the big problem we have at the moment is that everybody's got their own block of boards that they've kept, and their own archive, and there's probably like 80 to 90% overlap across all the people who have those. But if we can go to a Git system, we can make it very easy to pick up just the updates, and then also we can amend existing files when they're fixed for certain things. Like I just noticed the other day that the MacBook 2915 board, the 820 2915, it has so many missing networks in it. About half the parts are NC pads, which is wrong. And it's not just with my software. I've noticed it's actually the same on XEZ. So I went in there and had a look in their file and on their viewer, and sure enough, it's all, most of it NCs as well. So there's a lot of things like that which could be corrected and then re-uploaded, and then people can pick up the fixed versions of it. So it makes a lot of sense to do it using Git style, but there's technically demanding things involved with that too. The Git server is not a problem. There's a really nice Git server-side program called Forgio or whatever. It's basically like GitHub, but it's free. It's MIT license, or at least it used to be. They changed to GPL license, I think, in the most recent version, but I use the MIT version. Is this the Mac model that had the hard... these ones do have the tendency, yes, to have issues with these hard drive flexes. This is a 3115 board, so basically of all of them, this is probably the best one. Big collection of old schematics I got from View a while back, but they're not... Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, everything's disorganized. So I think it's going to be a bit of a concerted effort between everybody to do things like tag the files with, you know, the brand, the model, get a proper board code. The one thing that drives me insane is when you download these various files and they've got so much trash before and after the actual board code of the file. So instead of 820.00.165, you end up with this J115 820.00.165 Freddy Blogs Vinifix, you know, all their sort of like personal advertising bollocks attached before and after. So I figure with something like a Git system, it would actually go a long way towards being allowed us to organize a lot of this stuff. Now, the only thing is we really need someone with a lot of space on their server and also in a jurisdiction that isn't going to be picked up by Apple too quickly. Although I do wonder, because Bad Caps, they've been operating for many years and they're in the US jurisdiction and they haven't been picked up for anything. But it could be just simply because, well, they're a forum. They're not actually... Their primary thing isn't to distribute the files. Not that it really would stop Apple at all. Why am I marking the screws? So that I can see which ones I've done. Because I'm probably going to end up with a couple spare in the end, and it's just going to be easy for me to visually see them, the holes. It may not, but I'm doing it anyway. So how many are there? I have 3 screws left. Well, that's true. Yeah, definitely would prove I've been here. Okay, there's 1. 2. There could be one under here for all I know. It probably is. I seem to recall in the past. Oh boy. And I would be wrong. Ah, there it is. Aha. Wow, there you go. All screws accounted for. That's a shocker. Hey, Gabriel. Yes, I don't get to be live as often as I would care to. I guess there's a lot of things going on. Alright, keyed. Well, I gotta say, it so far hasn't been as painful as I recall from the past, but there may still be time yet for pain. After all, we've got to get the whole CD assembly back in. And then, of course, we're going to have the hilarious aspect of wondering, will it even work? I should really test that button clicks. Okay, button clicks. Thank God for that. Oh, you're infuriating. This is a good example of the jobs you should not be doing at work. Yeah, there was a couple of different things, and one of the other things was that it had trash in the keyboard, and there was a key missing. Like I said, I went looking for a replacement chassis so I wouldn't have to do this, but I didn't have any luck. So I had to do it the hard way. Now this is where the hard part starts, because I've got to remember how the heck to reassemble this section. It's not as easy as I recall. I'll leave that middle screw out because I have already forgotten where things go. Okay, that goes on there. You go there, you get screwed there. Yeah. Hey, Q's. Okay. All right. At least now the CD assembly is in. And we can start doing a really bad job of routing these cables. I hate it when you've got most of them routed and then you find that you actually had the routing ordering wrong. Okay, for instance, where does this cable? What's going on here? Speaker. Okay, that's fine. Yep, like I just did then. Fairly sure I've got to route this one second after I've routed the coax one. Graham, I don't know how you don't lose your mind with things like gaming machine cabling setups. I had a couple of gaming machines come in this week, and yeah, I am not a gamer's best friend when it comes to if you're trying to be aesthetically pleasing with your machine. I tend to do things like, well, you've got 60 trillion fans there and they're not actually doing anything other than making turbulence. We're going to just not have them run. And look at that, your temperatures are improving already. And then there's all the bling bling of the colours and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't break people's stuff. I don't disable the colours or anything like that. I do let them run. After all, they're bringing it to me to be fixed, not to be modified. But sometimes people have built them and they just sort of go by the mantra of more fans is better. And so that does tend to cause some issues with the temperatures. So you've got all these fans screaming away and no air actually getting out of the case properly. Live in fear of these unibody Macs. Oh yeah, the Wi-Fi. Yep. Hey, Steven Seagal. Sleep pattern is pretty wacky. Oh well, you know, mine's not much great. Milo has decided as of late that we wake up now at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we let out Tiger, the wildling, or whichever wildling decided to be stupid enough to come in. And then we have to stroll around the yard for the next 20 minutes until he is satisfied that all the markings have been overwritten. And man, where did that go? Did that go there? No, we had a. No, it makes no sense for that to go there. Great, we've got one screw that we don't know where it goes. Fantastic. I have no idea where that screw went. Suppose I could have a look at another unit. G-Paul. Let's see, how many of these have I got? Too many. Here we go. Oh, it did go there. It did, but what's happened here is that the plastic has disintegrated off. Yeah, the screw went there, but it was part of this speaker assembly, but the plastic has just disintegrated off. So we won't bother putting the screw back in there. I did have an unfortunate gaming machine job that came in, and it was a mixed together system, which is fine, I've got no problem with that. And then they put a new cooler on it, and something happened, but it wouldn't start up. It just like blip start. You'd get a quarter fan spin, and that was about it. And unfortunately, on the underside of the logic board, back behind it was a, what was it? MSI Tomahawk board, I think, Z390. But there was some active electronics on the underside of the board back behind the DDR slots, and something must have touched there at some point. And it was the classic sort of arc over damage there, and that was it. And I just said to him, look, I don't know what rail got shorted, but basically you're probably better off just moving to a whole new machine. Don't even try and swap parts around, because if, say, 12 volts went into some of the other parts that were only meant to have 3 volts, and you've blown them, and then you move those parts into a new machine, and then they will cause something else to blow. It's not always going to happen like that, but the universe likes to be a real asshole at the best of times, and that sort of thing can happen. I know I've had it to me a few times. I had a mainboard that took out multiple hard drives and a graphics card, so I was not happy about that. Let's see. I feel weird, like I'm missing something. I probably am. It's always fun with these down here. You always get that cable snagged on the post. And then you get this snagged, and then you get these two snagged, and then you get, yeah, it's a great big snag fest. I don't think that's meant to be there. The other thing that's fun is when people force overdrive the coarse threads into fine pitch thread standoffs and things like that, and so you end up with these screw and standoff combinations that are just locked together, and you're trying to get them out, and it's like, nope, not coming out. It's like, yay. Okay, let's get this microphone down. There we go. T6, oh T6, where are the T6? There we go. Hey, B-Blood. So yeah, Graham, with machine making and all that, I'm fine to spend the day building up white boxes. Yeah, just for, not that we'd ever do it anymore, but yeah, back in the day, you'd just spend the day manufacturing your own in-store brand white boxes. This is before Dell and all the rest sort of came to market. That doesn't feel like it's sitting right. But the gaming machines, it's like, yeah, it's too much artistry in there. You don't know if the customer's going to be displeased with your artistic interpretation. Okay. B-Blood, right, yeah, well, this isn't an iPad, so, but these 2012, so 12 years old now. Hey, Sutterbridge. Everybody enjoys clearing snow. We don't get snow here. I think I put that in there. I can't remember. This is how long this job's been sitting in my workshop, is that I've forgotten what I actually did for this customer. Which is going to be fun when it comes to billing time. Alright, we need a MagSafe Uno. The L MagSafe. That's always nice. Come on. There we go. Apple logo. Okay. Now the thing I want to see is if this power button works. Okay, that worked. It's a little bit depressed there, but you're a good looking button. You do a good job. Maybe that will make it feel less depressed. I just realised you can see the paint around here. So shut down. I actually need to run my boot stick on here so we can check the, what do you call it? Check the keyboard. Yes, the keyboard. There we go. Okay. At least it's responsive. Yep. The only trouble is when I do test this keyboard, it's not going to be as pleasant as when you're testing a genuine keyboard. There is the difference in the plastic that they use for third-party keyboards versus an original Mac. It's subtle, but it's there. With an original Mac, you can swipe your fingers back and forth across the keyboard without getting snagged. You can't do that with any of the third-party ones that I found. Hey, Mr. McDermott, welcome. Joining the chat. I wonder if my iPad person's replied back saying, please fix it. And I'll be like, nay. Nope, they haven't replied. I fixed their Nintendo Switch. That should be good enough. I hope. Unfortunately, their dock doesn't work. And it's a newer dock. It's... and I don't have the parts for it, so I feel like I'm letting this person down. It just seems like everything they want fixed, it's like, nah, yeah, no, can't fix that. Sometimes you get customers that are like that, they ask you a whole bunch of things and you're like, can't fix that, no, can't do that either. And you start wondering, gee, am I good for anything here? Other than disappointing this person? Okay, keyboard tester is up. I gotta admit, that one actually goes pretty good. That's probably the best I've felt, a third-party one. Okay, looks like I got to eat my own words. And all the keys have correctly identified as the appropriate key. Alright, that's fixed. Marvelous. Cap lock's off. Thank God for that. Screen needs a clean. Of all the things for screening cleans, I found glasses cloths to be the best. I mean, I've got plenty of other microfiber cloths, but for some reason, the stuff that they give you for your glasses seems to be the very best. At least for getting that sort of, what do you call it, hazy layer off it. Maybe not so much for the big stuff, but for getting that hazy layer off, it's good. There's something in the middle there. It's probably going to need a little bit of IPA for that one. Oh yeah, my hair's getting long again over there. Okay, yeah, the IPA got rid of that. It was a bit of adhesive or something. Okay, it's not 100% perfect, but I'm going to leave it as that. I'm pretty happy. It's good enough. Shut it down, put all the screws back in and close it up. Minitum, yeah, the 3115s run pretty good, really. Personally, I'm probably more inclined to run something like a 2017 1466. Unfortunately, things like A1502s, I'm starting to find are falling apart a lot quicker than I would hope. But the 1466s, and funnily enough, a good 3115 seems to hold up better. Why are you spinning? Yeah. No spinning. Too much spinning. Okay. The big issue is that with a lot of these 1286 type machines or 1278s is that more often than not they end up with a whole bunch of corrosion on the other side. Like just on the board, that green sheen, and it just slowly eats away at the machine. That kills them more often than not. But if you've got one that's been kept in a dry environment, then yeah, they're usually pretty good. Yeah, knew I was missing one. Sneaky. Not sure what to do about their battery situation. All the lugs are broken off. Like this one here, they're all gone. I guess I'll just put them back in anyway. All falling bits in the UK. Yeah, people have become too salty these days. What are you? You're also a battery screw, but where? Am I losing my mind? As far as I know, there's only the two, but yet I've got a third. Maybe I took it from another machine. Okay. Hey Tony, if you live on the coast here, it's a bad idea. They're probably going to... I'll get them some feet. Get them some replacement 1278 feet. If I can find them. I saw that bodger, I'm ignoring that. Let's see, 1502, 1368... Yeah, frustratingly, the feet are all different between the models. It's going to suck if I don't have any for this person. Yeah, it would have been nice to just finish the job up like that. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oops, sorry about the loudness. That's my last set by the looks of it. And I won't deny I'll be happy about that. In the sense of like I can just go, no, sorry, don't have any more feet anymore. Walk it off. Trying to clear out the old glue, because otherwise if you don't then the new stuff will not stick down, because obviously I don't know how old that glue is on those pads. Chances are they're probably not going to stick and I'm going to have to improvise. Okay. They do have little keying dots on them, so you do have to line them up reasonably close. Unlike, did I get that one in? I think I missed that one. Alright. Just a smidge. We go. Alrighty, they got new feet. Now they can dance with joy. Oh wow, yeah. That catches you out now and then. These things are so old, they've got Phillips head for the bottom screws, not pentalobes. Now, don't be like that. Trying to do some cross-threaded nastiness with me. Do not tolerate that sort of business around here. It is surprising how many people will just power through a cross-threaded situation. They'll just be like, oh, a little more force and it'll be right. And then they wonder why the screw just spins. I miss you. Beautiful. Fantastic. That's what we want. Charge rate seems okay. The battery's probably a little bit on the old side, so it's probably not going to last a very long time, but it's at 90%, so for the last 4 weeks it's been holding that charge, so it's not bad. But I don't think it's got a lot of strength left in it, so if I do disconnect it, it'll probably take a pretty fast dive. It does the job. Yep. Alright, that's it for me for tonight. I've got another job. Basically, as Christmas has been approaching, I've been trying to clear out these things that have been languishing in the workshop. And I've got to decide what I'm going to do about a couple of liquid damage things. Like I've got a liquid damage 1398 keyboard, and I'm thinking I just don't want to deal with that. I've gotten to the point now where I have to just say no to a lot of these sort of jobs because they just suck the living daylights out of your time. It's hard enough getting the jobs that you can convert to decent amount of money done in a day without these kind of jobs coming along and just taking 3-4 hours, and you get what, $50 for it maybe. So yeah, you do tend to have to be a little more brutal to people and say, look, yeah, I'm sorry, I just can't. There's more and more now. I just simply say to people, it's a compound fault situation. You're honestly better off just migrate to a whole new machine. And half the time, I don't even bother to keep the machine for parts or anything like that. It's basically a case of that's just going to go straight to recycling. Yeah, maybe there is someone else out there who has more time on their hands than anything else, and they can take advantage of you trying to make a bits of machine, pull apart different bits and put together something. But for me, I don't have the room in the workshop, I don't have the time, and it's certainly not financially viable to be trying to chase that sort of work. Better that I'm just straight up with people and say, look, no, you've got a dead keyboard, you've got a dead logic board, and your battery needs replacing. That's 3 hits. You're going to have to go to a new machine. Hey, Lewis Akis. Was it Akis? Long-time viewer, but didn't know you had a newish live stream. Oh yes, I do apologize. I probably should make another announcement about that on the main channel, just to refresh and remind people. I mostly did it to try and stop YouTube feeding out long live streams to new viewers, because the new viewers would just be like, what the hell are we watching this for? This is boring, and move on. So I'm trying to make sure that the main channel is just edited videos, 10 to 20 minutes long, that people are going to be able to get interested in quickly, and then for the people who want to see the live, they can come to the live channel. Amazing marketing. It's not working out properly. I'm still not rich enough. Needs a commercial on the other channel. Yeah, exactly. It needs to be announced again. So, all right then. Well, that's it for me tonight. Thank you very much for dropping in. I do appreciate it. It's always good to have a bit of a side audience here to keep things entertaining while I do all the boring work. To be fair, I get the money at the end of it, and you don't get anything other than the entertainment. So, I will catch you all on the next time, whenever that may be. Look out for the new Flexboard View releases, but then if you already have a license, you will get the notification on the bottom next to the license number, simply letting you know that a new version is available. So, okay, you take care. Until the next one, I'll catch you later. Have a good one.